welcome to the end of February. It's our last live stream with the February kit, and I'm going to also be starting by showing you February in my album so that we can see how everything goes together and kind of making room for the smaller stories that aren't 12 by 12, making a note of what other 12 by 12s I want to make that are still going to fit within February before we start all things March on Monday. That's everything. Okay, also, before we finish today, we are going to do a little exercise in seeing if we can get the form to work without making it fall over. So everyone's going to cross their fingers and we're going to do it all at the same time and then see if we're cool. Because I would really like for it to be cool. Right, but scrapbooking now. We're going to do that bit toward the end so that I don't spend the whole layout being very stressed about it if it falls over. We're going to do it at the end. All right? Okay. You're with me. We're only going to be an hour today anyway, so it's going to be fine. Okay, this button and that button, and let's get to the desk. All right, so here is ye old album. So January, looking like this. So that was Best of Both Worlds in January. And then these now in the order that they'll go into the book. Now remember, this is the one that is not finished. It's still not finished. However, everything else does have the journaling. So yay. Hello, Shari. I just saw you appear and disappear. That's hilarious. Okay, so this is actually the last day of January, but I made it in February with February supplies. Then first day of February is Beetle story. So we start here, and then we're going to have these two as a double. And actually, I've photographed these all now with their journaling, so I can go ahead and put these in page protectors because these are done in theory. Okay, so we will start like this. And then this one will go on the back of that. Now, when I say they're done, are they? This is looking kind of bare. So I might come back to this with more embellishment. And I want to show you that and be very honest about it. There's nothing wrong with when you go to put stuff in the album, making changes or making notes of changes that you want to make. This is a very real creative process. And I think it's important to remember things like that, that everything is a work in progress. So there we go. So there's the 3 layouts we did this month about the Beetle Story Museum, all in place. They've all got their journaling, but the yellow one might get a bit more embellishment. Then we have this one, which is quite a big gap. This is the 15th, and that was the 1st. So I'm not going to put this here. I'm sure there is something within the 2 weeks that needs to go there. However, the back of this is a sticky mess because I was silly and gutted things, but the adhesive is everywhere. So, see, I'm not a natural when it comes to gutting paper. So let's cover this all up. Could you just put an extra sheet of paper back here? Yes, of course you could. But let's figure this out. Oh, I must have tried to take that one off, but it is a little bit sticky. Should I just stick this down to it? How hilarious is that? Add more adhesive to cover up the little bit of adhesive. We'll do that here too. And then I think that's everything that is sticky. Is there anything else that's sticky? No. So there we go. Jean, I absolutely love that. Jean says she's been known to find the perfect little something and go back years later because she found it and be like, you know, I made this layout years ago. Let's go put it in. And you know, rework the page. I love it. Okay. Then the back of this gives me the first point where there is something I have planned but not done. Oh, hilarious. That didn't stay put. Okay. So this one I can't do on a video, but I want it in. So this photo I could put in a video. That's just him. But that is his school's house music battle of the bands. And I have a picture that is like everybody, but obviously I can't do that on YouTube. So I've got the picture of him, and I'll print the big picture that has his whole house band, which was huge. And I'll make a layout that goes here, because that's definitely 12 by 12 worthy. That's a big story. First time he's done that. First time he's been in a band, much less a battle of the bands. He had a cute little part where they brought him in as if he were a Roman emperor, which was hilarious. Yeah. And so that was quite fun. I'd never been to, like, this is all new to me when you get to go and watch too. So I have lots of perspective to add on that. But you couldn't take, like, normally their school events, they have an official photographer, and then you can download the photos. But you can't take things where there's like the whole group. So I have the one that's just him. And then I can use the official photo, but just not on YouTube. So there we go. So that's what will be there. Then I have Board Game Weekend, which we have done. That was our last live stream. It's the most colorful layout we have done this month. Okay, and then I have a whole bunch of small photos that go along with that, so probably a pocket page. That's the end of the 12 by 12s. I have some pocket pages to go in, though. So we have this one, the back of a 9 by 12, is going to be a page that I make almost every month, which is shows we have seen. So we have, oh yeah, if you like the game paper and that layout, that was Monday's live stream. So that is Ballet Shoes. This is Les Mis. This is Lucy Jones. And this is American Psycho the Musical, which I went to on my own and had a terrible view. But there we go. I could basically see half the stage. Right. I will have to look. I didn't do one for the gig that he came to watch me in. These go in that order. So let's go. Oh, actually, why don't I put this one up here? This is the only one I believe that I went to on my own this month. And then I could put the ones that he went to across here. I could put like that. Let's do that. So there we go. Oh no, Auntie Caffeine has been missing live streams and it felt like missing a kidney. Wow. I hope your kidneys are actually in good health. Da, 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 da. Okay, so the back of that will be like this, and that gives me those cards to fill in. Then this side has a whole bunch of random small stories. So we have, let's see if I can put them in order. They did a non-uniform day at school for charity, and that can go up there. That probably could have journaling right on top of the photo. The Adhesive Avenger had a birthday, and I made him his birthday wish of a cake, which went quite well. He asked for a cherry bakewell, which I know our non-Brits and Aussies may be like, a what now? A cherry bakewell, but as a cake. And I did it, and it was nice, yes. Then I did this event where I don't want to put any of the pictures of the kids in, so I took a picture of my gear, which includes not only my camera and filming gear, but this bit, that's a measuring tape, because this is all about a day that I spent coaching young actors, and I had to measure them all so that they could film their ident, where they introduce themselves and say how old they are and how tall they are, that sort of thing. So I thought it was really funny because loads of kids didn't know how tall they were, so we were measuring everyone just to make sure the heights were accurate. So you'd come in and be like, "Hi, my name's Shimelle, and here's my measuring tape." I felt a bit like Mary Poppins, being like, an obstinate, headstrong girl. No. So yeah, I've got that story to tell. I'm trying to see where these will fit. Then we have First Sign of Spring. That's the first daffodils here. And then these two little bits that I just thought were cute moments of capturing what he's like right now in a non-school, non-performy kind of way. So maybe these go here. He with the rain stopping for just a couple days, he got really, like, he had a school lesson where they talked about photography for some reason. And so he came home and immediately said, "Can I take your camera out to the pond and take photos of the birds?" So I snuck out to see him. And then this one was hilarious. He started a series of books, and he had book 1, and I thought we had all of the rest of the books because we had 5. It turns out it's a 6-book series, and we were missing book 2. How terrible am I? So he got to the end of book 1, and then they didn't have it in the library, book 2, and he went to the bookstore, and the bookstore had the same problem. They had 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, but no 2. So this is a photo of him asking the person at the bookstore, well, first of all, telling them that they have made a terrible mistake and that they have missed book 2 of the of this series, which is amazing to him and all young readers apparently, because it's about adventures on trains. So why would you not want to have all of those adventures in your bookstore at all times? P.S. Now that you have listened to me tell you how important it is that you have book 2, is there anything we could do to get book 2? To which they said, yes, we can order it for you, and you can come back in a couple days and pick it up, which I found adorable that he was like, well, yes, then, because, of course, in this day and age, you could go home and order it. Well, not even go home. You could step outside the shop and order it online and have it tomorrow. But he was quite happy to get the bookstore to have it in. And then there's the part 2 that I did not take a photo of, which is even more hilarious. So he told me it should be in on Thursday. I'm going to get off the bus 1 stop earlier and stop at the bookstore on Thursday to pick up the book. And I said to him at the time, do you know how much it is and do you have enough to pay for the book? And he said yes. Oh, he was fibbing. He did at one point have enough money in his wallet, but I think he had not looked, and since he was in Liverpool and he shopped in a museum gift shop, and so he did not actually have the £7 he needed to buy the book. He had 5. So I get a phone call, no, a text message from the bookstore saying, "Mommy, I'm short £2, but they have my book. Can you please come and pay the £2 and I will pay you back?" Right? I get there. He has been talking nonstop to the person behind this counter the whole time it takes me to get my shoes and coat and walk down to the bookstore. Oh my goodness, they must have been ready for me to arrive. But anyway, he now has book 2. You'll all be happy to know the world can live again. Book 2 is here. Okay, so that's small stories, even though all of that took a long time. So I might need to do like a layered journaling card here or here to cover all of that stuff. But that's small stories, and that's shows I saw. No cake I ate. This is the cake I ate. All right. Sometimes, for those who are new, sometimes this page becomes shows I saw and cake I ate, because if I go to a show with a friend, we quite often go for cake first. Or after, depending. So where are these going to go? This is the good question. This one, I think this continues on from here. So let's do this here. Now, this continues on here. So this is going to be 2 sides. And I need to decide, is it 6 by 12? Is it 12 by 12? About going to shows with people. And so we went to 2 different shows together over the half term. This one we went with friends, and they also came to my choir gig. So this is going to be about hanging out with them. I love this photo of the 4 kids because we went to see Ballet Shoes at the National Theater, which is gorgeous and wholesome and just really clever, solid theater. Just beautiful. And the kids came out with the sign and then all posed as if they were dancers, because part of this is that all the there's 3 sisters, one of whom loves dance, so they all have to go to dance school. So there's one that's her thing, and the other 2 have other things, but they do for a while go to dance school, and they all have to do ballet. So we got them to all pose like that, as if they had to go. All right, so we could do all 4 across here. We could do that one, and then these 3. So we could do the photos all across the middle bit. And then I have to figure out, you know, what I'm writing on 4 cards, but I'm okay with that. Hello, Debbie. It's true. Those of you saying that the people at the bookstore probably enjoyed it and they don't get many kids who come in to chat like that. I did think, like, they didn't seem too annoyed, but they did clearly talk, because when I came in and the first thing I said was, right, sir, what happened to the 15 pounds you had in your wallet? You've got 10 pounds unaccounted for. And the guy behind the counter said, did you stop at the name of the pub that's on our corner? Did you stop at that pub and spend 10 pounds? And I thought, oh, he's even told the people at the bookstore where we live. Great, great, lovely. Right. So then the other side, I could print one more to make this the same. So this is this show. So we went to see one of his friends who he was in Les Mis with. And then she left at the same time as him. But then she went back in as a different character. And we went to see her in the matinee. So we could do all of these, and I could just print one more to go in that gap. I might have some older photos of the two of them together that I could do like a then and now. So I think we go ahead and keep this as a 12 by 12. Yeah. So those are kind of medium stories to me. Right. Then I'll have these that need to go into some sort of pocket. And one 12 by 12 to make there. And I think something here with probably, I'll see if there's anything that happens between those two, because there is a big gap there. Oh, but a lot of the stuff that's in the gap is this. So maybe I just move that one over, but actually it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's what February is looking like. Are we cool with that? I do need to go back and finish this to finish January. But everything else has journaling. Let's scrapbook something today, shall we? Oh, and if I have a gap, I have one extra. This could go here. Okay, I only printed it small, but let me tell you about this photo. So this is a set of stairs that's in the London Palladium. We were going there to see Lucy Jones, which did I not print a photo of Lucy herself. Might add that in here. Or with this. Anyway, so Lucy played Eponine when WB was in Les Mis. Not Eponine, sorry, Fantine. She's been Cosette and Fantine. She's never been Eponine. And we went to see her solo concert gig, which was fabulous. She's an absolute rock star. But as we went up these stairs, he stopped and went, do you realize that these stairs changed my life? And I'm like, what? Singing on these stairs is what got him his first gig. So he asked me to take a picture on those stairs. And I think that's worth doing a whole layout about, like a little reflectiveness. So that could go here. Yep. All right, let's make a page. I have that beautiful floral from the Winnie the Pooh collection left that I have not touched. And I have quite a fun, oh, it's printed wrong. I'll have to reprint it later. I did a batch print of all of those pictures together, and I did not catch that there's a mistake there. But whoop, doop, doop. So this is the whole cast, almost the whole cast and crew of the show he's in, with the set behind them. So I thought we would do that today. Bend and snap. Do, 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 do. Da, 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 da. Right. With this set of papers here, these two. Yeah. And maybe just some plain white. What? No, But maybe like, oh, is this one actually got quite a lot of stamping on it? Okay, that one is not. Maybe some white grid or notebook paper or something like that. What's at the top? Notebook paper is at the top. There's also notebook paper in the Live the Dream box if you want to use that one. Okay, so trimmer. Oh, I did all of that and forgot to stop at any point to do my speech, so I should do that. Just a second. All right. So we shall have these and a 4x6. The rainbow plaid. Yeah, so this collection, it would be very easy to just miss it because this is the classic classic Pooh, as in Winnie the Pooh, baby collection. But hello, I do not need a baby to love those papers. This one is also not Winnie the Pooh, so there's nothing specifically Winnie the Pooh on either side of this one. This one has a map of the 100-acre wood with a stork, which is gorgeous. Not a map, a scenic photo. Can I give up on words this morning? I don't know what anything means, clearly. Great. Kelly has got January all done in her album, as well as September to December 2025. She's got February and last August to work on today. I love that plan. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. The plaid almost feels like Doodlebug. Yeah, I feel like it's just that little bit more subtle in the colors. But yeah, it's very on that kind of vibe. Because here's, this is the Doodlebug pink. Yeah? Yeah. So our Doodlebug backgrounds will definitely work in with these really easily. Right, let me do my speech that I did not do, even though it's 10:30. Hi! My name's Shimelle. I teach online scrapbooking classes, design scrapbooking products, and help you use them to tell your stories in a creative way. It's not just my hobby, it is my job, and that means anytime you scrapbook on the internet, it's considered advertising, and legally I need to make sure you're aware of that. So thank you for coming to watch my #advertising. I appreciate you being here, whether you are live and chatty, watch from Tomorrowland, quiet, craft, don't craft, thinking about coming back to craft, picking up something new, we are here for it. The description box with this video has loads of links to all the things that you might need, including the supplies that I use, the classes I teach, and the products that I've designed. Any questions, let me know. There was a question that I just remembered I had skipped over and meant to come back. The printer I use is called the Canon Selfie. It prints just at 4x6, but then you can divide it into any smaller ones. So something like this is 2 3x4s on that same paper. And you can go smaller if you want. Okay, that's enough of my face. Let's go. Right. So, why does my window with my notes keep closing? I have this window that it just decides to close itself, and I can't quite figure out why. It does reopen, but it takes a minute to load it back up. It's where I have all my notes. Okay, it's fine. So let's go ahead and mat this with one of the Doodlebug colors. So we have that pink is probably a good choice. We have also that turquoise. Show's branding is all in red and blue, so we're not leaning into that today. We had a yellow, but I have used it. We have this darker yellow, but I have the polka dot side. How dark is that? Actually, we might use a little bit of that because I like how that picks up the darker here. Oh, and how much of this do we have? Oh, that's only a little bit. Okay, but maybe we use that as an accent. And. Okay, tonal turquoise. That's the one I want, rather than the white dot. Okay. So we are going to go like this. How many boxes did I draw? Oh, the discussion in the live chat about the world's longest zip line, which is in Dubai. And I love that Sherry was like, I assume you would not do this. And I was like, I would not make that assumption. I'm bad at abseiling or like rappelling down things. I don't actually feel scared if I think about it, but when I did it, my body would just stopped. I just froze. But the zip line, I've not had a problem on any crazy zip lines that I've done so far. It has been many years since I've bungee jumped, and I don't really ever feel a need to bungee jump again. Yes, onto caffeine. It's the whole cast of WB show. He's down here in the printing error that I didn't realize was a printing error before we went live. Okay. So then probably want to cut a bunch of strips of these. And we're going to build vertically here. So let's have that size. And have a little bigger of this one. We can use both sides of this that way in the design as well, which makes me happy. Which way does this feel? I feel like that feels better. And we'll do a narrower strip of the B side. And then come back over here and do a strip of the plaid. So we have all of those pieces. Shall we also have some of the bright pink, maybe? We can do, it doesn't need to be the full 12 inch, so oh, that's probably too wide. Let's cut that down. Now I'm not sure about both pinks together, so this is the one that I'm questionable about, because I might like to stick with just the softer pink, but maybe this one too. All right. Da, 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 da. Sherry, as soon as I have a schedule, I will let you know what I can do. I still don't even know when we're leaving. I mean, I know the day. That's all I know. Okay. Now, let's work out. So this is the biggest one. I want that to go most of the page. So that will be the biggest strip of paper in both directions. And then let's have that one go across here. And actually, I lie. This one's going to be narrower, but just a little bit taller so that I can have it peek here. Okay, do that. Come out of the way. Thank you. And I feel like this needs separation with a single color. So let's make this one come over here and make it shorter. So we have that kind of size. Then both pinks, one pink, let's see. So this pink feels nicer next to that, and this pink feels nicer next to that. So why don't we do both, but do it that way? Because this is the pink that's on that paper, and this is the pink that's on that paper. So it makes sense. Okay, so we're going to cut that here. Then this one needs to be just a little bit shorter. And we're going to edge some things and ink some things. Let's go with a smaller scallop than usual, just to be different. So take one of these and use a border punch die, whatever you like, to give it a bit of fanciness. Oh, Sherry, okay, so hold on. I did not equate Hyperspace Mountain at DLP to a zip line in any way? Is it, like, is it more than just a line? Like, are we talking it's going to do flips and things? I should investigate what this actually is. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, because you're right. I have no desire to ride Hyperspace Mountain ever again. We discussed this at choir this week with those of us who are going from our choir to go sing at the opening of Arendelle, Frozen Land. Neither of those are its official name. Right. Do I want an edge on anything else? Maybe the big scallop on one as well? Okay. Sherry says, it doesn't do flips, but it does go 80 kilometers in Superman position. 80 kilometers. That is insane. Okay. I will look at how fast, but no flips. I think I might be okay. And it's not even on Hyperspace Mountain. Like, I can do some roller coasters with flips. I can do Indiana Jones at DLP, and that's fine. But it's the where you feel like you're getting smashed into the side of the car over and over again. Yeah. That bit is not great. Okay. Where did I put the other scallop? Did I put it away? Or is it literally in front of me underneath? Yep, it was right in front of me. I suddenly had a moment. Have I been looking at it the whole time? Yes, I have. Okay, so if that one's over here, let's do this one over here. And then ink these edges. Do we think, like, there's nothing brown here, so I think we're in a black inking day. Ink the edges with black ink. The Dubai zipline is 170 meters high. And that made it a no for Georgia. Okay. Oh! And Sherry's nephew has also said no. Okay. I have to do some investigating. This is all theoretical anyway, because I don't know if I'm allowed to go that far away from the theater. It may well be that I am not. It may well be that if I were to do something like that, I am no longer considered to be a safe and sensible guardian and do my job. But, you know, I will investigate before we get there. I'm trying to think of what the biggest zip line I have done is. Nothing anywhere near like that, but bigger than a playground. Okay. Black ink. Yes. Let's go. Oh, I have an idea too. Okay, so I'm not going to ink the floral. I'm going to scuff up the floral so that it stays with like a white edge. And then this one, we're going to distress the edges. For those of you who need to guard yourself, Sherry is now describing the Dubai Urban Zipline. The more I think about it, the more I will definitely not be allowed to do that. I think I wouldn't be allowed to go for the whole day anyway, because I need to be with him for all his meals. Part of why I'm there is to make sure he does not have any allergic reactions in a foreign country. But I like the idea, and I think, I don't know, I haven't seen any pictures of it or videos of it yet. So in my head, I'm like, if it's safe, it's fine. But also, I have not seen any pictures of it yet. I haven't looked. Okay, so let's build from this direction then. So the blue is going underneath this. The scallop is here. And then overlaps that. Plaid behind here. And then the pink. Oh, Kelly has done lots of zip lines, but only down a mountain. Oh my goodness. It takes seconds to do, and it is $200 US. Wow. I am like already just trying to remind myself that everything is going to be expensive. Okay, so we have this sort of composition. Are we game with that? But obviously that's just a little, like you could use this as a starting point. We need way more to make this happen. So let's see. First of all, it would be nice to go to the background before we go to the foreground, right? So what kind of elements could we add in? What do we like? I don't have one of something like umbrellas would be cute. I don't have that. Leaves, diagonals, pineapples. Nope. Can save that for when he does cabaret. That's two wind tree. Oh, I do have houses, which has picked up a stamp along the way. I don't know where that's come from. But obviously this is meant as like a Christmassy layer. Or we could go something geometric, like this might be nice. I do quite like that one. It's a Vicky stencil. Hearts, stars, that sort of thing. Yeah? I think this is a case of you found something that will work, so stop looking. So let's do that. And shall we go with this middle tone, which looks definitely like Savage Patina. And we have the layers here. So I think let's blend Tumble Glass as the paler one and Savage Patina as the stronger, more saturated one. If you wanted to make that a trio, you could then bring in, there's one, the peacock feathers. Peacock feathers would be your next bright one. Thoughts? Yes? Okay. So let's take this off the page for a little bit. I'm dying to know what happened to Sherry's nephew on Tower of Terror. Dun, dun. Okay. My little brush. Which, does it need a rinse out, or are we good? Or do I have a blue brush already? Hold on. Where's my cool toned brush? It's not in its spot. The warm one is. Okay, let's just use this, but give it a little rinse. One day I'll have to like film cleaning this as like a video short, because it's ridiculously satisfying to see all the color just drain away and then be left with a clean brush again. I don't know why it's quite so satisfying, but it really is. It's just visually very nice. And these, because the brush is so tiny, it dries with just a bit of, just a few seconds. It's dry. So cool. Okay. Okay, so the lighter one first. Let's load her up with tumbled glass. And start where it's going to be covered. Okay, I don't think I did the best job cleaning it. I'll turn the light on next time so I can see it better. Okay. Oh, I get it. So Tower of Terror was a long time ago. I totally get, she's saying her nephew was 6. I totally get the child reaction of being betrayed when you say, you'll like Tower of Terror. I believe my words were, you'll really like the dark-eyed part, which he did. But then WB was like, no. And he did tell us he would never trust us again, but it's fine. He says he would write it again now. Okay, so then go to the darker one. But that's really, really sad that then he was so upset, that your nephew was so upset he wouldn't write anything else. Trauma. So then fade this in. And then I want it to fade out here and not go all the way to the edge, so we'll go lighter here. Okay. So we have that sort of fade in over here, and then see you later. See you later, Jonah. We're gonna go up to this corner so that it feels a little bit more like a diagonal. What I don't love is that this feels so boxy, but when we bring that in here, I don't think it's going to be so obvious, but I don't want a square corner up here. So let's try and get that a bit more like what I had in mind. Blue-green of the two. Remember, even with the stencil, anytime you want the two colors of oxide to blend, you're going to need more ink than you might think. The more ink you use, the better they're going to blend. It's essentially like you're mixing paint on the page rather than in a bottle or in a bowl. Then I want some bits that feel just blue-green and not the mix of colors. So we'll keep it going up here. Almost there, almost there. 6 minutes. Can I finish the layout in 6 minutes? Yes, I can do it. Okay. I think that's okay. Let's just go over the blend bit here where the two blues meet. Soften that up a bit. Okay. So we have that bit of depth added to our background. And then this is going to go over the top. Before I do that, I'm going to add some of the saltwater taffy. And I thought I might actually spray it for once, just to be a little different. Okay, and what I'm going to do is actually spray it where it won't be seen. And then go out. Okay. Now, this. Whoop. Whoop. Okay. Nice and square and visible. Make sure all these strips have adhesive. Nothing is ever going to come undone. And we're going to the center and move it a direction. So we're moving to the right. Let's stay central top and bottom here. And then the photo is going to come in here. Just checking. Do I want this to go under? I don't think so. I want it to go over the top. Sherry's like, I love that you chose a stencil on a layout you wanted to do in 30 minutes. Yeah. Oh, and there's going to be a minor earthquake. It's not a real earthquake. It's the washing machine. Okay, then. Let's have some embellishment that we have here. Do we have any of these words that might work? Sorry, there's the washing machine. I actually really like the green with that paper, just so you know, but I'm not doing that today because it's not the right words. But let's do this life, but then put the word tour in the middle. Where did I have the title in my notes? Oh, I interestingly in my notes had the title down here, which is not going to work. I'm going to go up here instead. You want to go the shiny ones? Do I have an R? Yeah. Yep, I can do that. Okay, and then I go back to this, and I've also got dots for both eyes. Okay, Charlene's going to go straight onto this background. I have 3 more of those hearts, which I saved to use. Who are those letter stickers by? Me! This is from the Live the Dream big box that we're using all year long. So that's Fitzgerald in its iridescent and slightly smaller format. But also you get words and motifs in there too. Yep, yep, yep. Okay, let's bring in some mixed color dots now because I've got little conundrums here in sizes. Do a big pink one with no adhesive. Go down to this corner of the diagonal. And when I reprint the photo, I'll take that off. So that's why I'm not super adhering to any of those. Okay, journaling here. And the 3 hearts. 1. I think here. Right. So I think that's where I have to stop now. But let's talk about what we would add to it. So I think you've got a great spot here because we have unlimited amount of journaling space. Almost, I mean unlimited. But we have like a lot of room up here, right? So we could journal here, but we could also build like some die cuts or cutouts from the pattern paper here. This would be a great spot for tags or for circular die cut because I've got this circular stencil and because circles would be a nice contrast from all these rectangles. So something goes here and you could even bring the colors and patterns from over there back over to here. Yeah. And I possibly will use this around the outside edge again, like I did on one of the others, which is just using a brush pen to give the white cardstock background a frame. Yeah, and that's where we finish February. Happy? So all of the February layouts are available on the playlist for February 2026. And I have photos of everything except this one and the Super Cal layout that need finishing. But everything else I will get loaded up onto Facebook as a featured post later today. And now it is time for us to see if we go to the forum, if it's going to fall over. So if you are a forum member and you have a device in front of you, can you please go to shimelle.com/forum and try to sign in and tell me if you get any error messages. Because if we can do that, we are on, if we do that without error messages, we are in a whole new happy time and I can get all the videos set to live. But yesterday I gave it a try and I made it fall over. So yeah, that did not work. So let's see if we can do it, right? So hands up if you're able to go have a go at logging into the forum. And obviously I can too. And see if when you log in, you get any sort of problems. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. It hasn't fallen over for me here. What happens if I go to here and try to post something? No, that didn't fall over either. We're looking good, we're looking good. Okay. Jean did not get an error message. Yay, that's fine. If you're already logged in, you can just refresh the page. Elaine, Lindy, Michelle, you're all in and nothing, we don't have any error messages yet. Okay, this is good news. All right, Denise is in too. Okay, I think this sounds very, 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 very positive. I will be back this later today with an update then, because hopefully that means I can just put all those videos into go mode and we will be good without crashing anything. Jean logged out and in. Lauren is gonna, thank you all so much. Okay. China Girl has been able to get in for a couple days. I haven't until like this morning. I had a different workflow than yesterday, so something must have ticked over. And Sherry's in. Okay, I'm going to get on it. I have to go do my class now, and then I come back, and I'm on that so that we can have some progress, and I can breathe and celebrate and be happy. Okay, thank you so much for doing that. Also, thank you for joining me today. I'm always glad you're here, whether you watch live or on the replay. So hi to you out in Tomorrowland as well. And if you enjoyed it and you want to give it a thumbs up, that's super duper awesome, and I do appreciate it. But have a wonderful weekend. I'll be live again Monday here at 1:30, where we will kick off March. And I did I don't remember if I pinned it. It looks like I didn't pin it, so I'll pin it right now. If you want to go get the March supplies, there's a code that you can get 11% off right now. The code is SPRING, and you can use my affiliate link to get there. That makes this stuff possible. Yes, China Girl, and all of these good things. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye.